Hello and welcome to Crunch Time. My name is Santiago Casanova, as you know, and this week I'm with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the OG, Uncle Tim. Well, Papa Tim now, Tim
So,
Petrop.
what's good, baby? I'm excited to be on. Cass, I got to tell you, the only way your name gets sexier is when you say it with your accent. Santiago Casanova.
Hey, I
The
mean, you
sexiest
gotta give me
man,
that extra.
the sexiest man in fantasy right here.
That's how I do. That's how I do.
What's
All
up, everybody?
right.
I'm excited to be on, man. I haven't been on a live stream in a long time. So it's exciting to talk to everyone, get these answers going to people in the last second. Uh Yesterday, Cass added an amazing feature onto the Broto Start Sit app that has matchup ratings that is not only good for the average consumer, but it's good for me too. It gives you a nice visual of the matchups and everything. So check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, honestly, it was Tim's idea. Just full disclosure, I just implemented it. But I mean, let's get right to it. We're going to start with player news right
Let's
now.
do it.
We have some confirmed players out and some expected to play. We don't have confirmation on those that are going to play. Yeah, you want to start up?
Sure. I think some of the biggest ones that I think is the most important injury updates. Mike Williams is one of those guys that so he's playing, and then you have a whole bunch of superstars, right? Mike Williams, T.J. Hawkinson, Allen Robinson, Damian Harris, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Kadarius Toney, Chase Edmonds, like all these guys who are questionable, and you were kind of worried about going into today are for the most part playing. So that questionable tag, like as the year goes on, you realize it's less and less scary every week.
Yep.
Like it seems like these questionable guys are going to play.
Yeah, I mean everyone just get banged up like throughout the season. Well, for the confirmed out players, we have CMC, as most of you probably know. If you didn't
Bro,
know, take him out of your lineups. He has been placed on IR, so he'll miss at least 3 more weeks. So pick someone else up, sub him in. Now Saquon's also out. We kind of knew that. Kenny Galladay, Curtis Samuel, then Nick Chubb is also out. So another star. So take him out of your lineups. Zach Ertz, because I mean he already played, and Juju Smith-Schuster and Chris Carson have not been placed on IR, but probably heading that way. I mean, was Carson placed on IR? Do you know that?
I believe he was. I think Chris
All
Carson's
right.
on IR at this point.
So Carson's on IR. Juju isn't for some reason, but he'll definitely be out for the entire season. So if you're playing redraft, you can safely drop him at this point. Now, for the guys that are expected to play, like Tim said, pretty much everyone that has a questionable tag. Notably, the biggest players in this list are Mike Williams, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Hopkins, Zeke, DK Metcalf. They're all expected to play, and so are TJ Hawkinson and Jamal Williams. Just so everyone knows, they're expected to play, even though they're questionable. We'll have an update as the official reports come in. Anyone else you want to talk about, or shall we get to the start sit questions?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I think there's it's good news about these questionable tags. It's just like these guys like Mike Williams that miss practice every single day, but is gonna play. Look, I have Mike Williams in a bunch of rosters. I haven't been silent about it, and I'm nervous about him this week because when you
Sure.
don't practice any day, like there's really no reason to not practice, even if you're trying to rest a guy. So there's something obviously wrong with him. And Mike Williams has been a guy in the past who has started games off and not finished them. So I think I'm still starting Mike Williams. I'm still confident about him, but there's that little devil on my shoulder that's saying, "Oh, this might happen." So that's those little cues. That's what they do.
For sure. I mean, you can't sit Williams. Like if he's
No way.
active, you have to go for it. It's just you'll feel worse if you leave him on your bench and he goes off. So yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. So anyway, let's get to the start set questions. What this show is all about.
Oh, let's do it,
Last
baby.
minute. All right, let's start it with Tom Brady Stan. Okay. Odell or Alex Collins? I'm gonna let you take this one. It's pretty easy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like either of them, to be completely honest with you. I guess I'm leaning Alex Collins just because of the guaranteed workload. But I mean, if there's a instead of starting Alex Collins and Odell Beckham this week, I would rather take a shot on like a Rondell Moore or something like that. If you're in a shallow league and there's someone on the bench that could have like crazy upside, I would play a crazy upside guy besides those two guys, because those two guys just scream, I don't know, like 7 to 12 points to me, and that's just not something that's
you're
gonna
being generous with that, man.
Yeah, I am. I'm being generous. You're right. I'm being generous.
Yeah, half PPR. Alex Collins is probably gonna get you around 8 to 9 points. Odell could give you 0, or he could give you 10. So I agree with Tim. They're not my favorite options. They're Alex Collins has a more solid floor. Odell is very boom bust, mostly bust. So if you have a high upside guy in your waiver wire, pick him up. If not, out of those two, I would go Collins because he has that floor. He will not win you your matchup, but he'll give you a solid amount of yards and maybe 1 or 2 receptions.
Yeah.
Right,
it's hard to trust either of them. It kind of sucks, but
for sure, I agree with that. There you go, Tom Brady Stan. Good luck with that. Now, Corey Wilson asks, "What's the promo code for the app?" It's 100% free, so you don't need any promo code. You can just download the app right now. It's Fantasy Football by Brodo. You can see written at the bottom of the screen. Download it right now. It's on the App Store and the Google Play Store. 100% free. You do not need a promo code. All right.
If you could put Brodo Fantasy, if anything.
Sure,
like,
sure.
People tend to be putting Brodo as the promo code, even though they haven't been prompted in any way. So you could join one of the masses that we've kind of have a running joke in the group chat. Every time someone puts the promo code Brodo, we're like, oh, another entry to the contest for us. So yeah, but is that contest over?
It's closing. We're very, very close to closing. So actually,
you put your Twitter handle, Corey.
Yeah, put your Twitter handle when you register in the app as a promo code, and that will win you. Well, we'll get you an entry to win Chad Ochocinco jersey. So
boom, boom.
Good on you for reminding me about that.
Yeah, there it is.
We do have a follow up from the Tom Brady Stan. He says he does have Rondell Moore, so you were right about that. But he also has Thielen. Who do you like better, Thielen or Rondell?
Thielen has a scary matchup this week. I'm kind of low on Adam Thielen. With that being said, I think when you're talking about Adam Thielen, it's hard to sit him because at any week he could catch a touchdown, and it's not as if this week is unquestionable that he won't catch a touchdown. But here's why I'm low on Adam Thielen. Carolina's defense has been very good, and in particular, they've been good against the number 2 wide receiver on the outside and the slot wide receiver, which Adam Thielen plays both of those positions.
Yeah.
Who they've been really bad against, and is why they went out and traded for Stephon Gilmore, is in that number 1 cornerback slot. In fact, their DVOA against the number 1 wide receiver is dead last in the entire NFL. Oof. Something that's shocked me when I was looking it up. So I think it's a big Justin Jefferson day. That might mean though that they start doubling Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen comes open. I would still lean Adam Thielen over Rondell Moore. Not by a lot. And for me, I'm starting Rondell Moore in one of my leagues over Nyheim Hines, Jamal Williams, Cole Beasley. So I think Rondell Moore has an upside shot because I need that upside in that league. Like I'm not playing for the floor. If I was going to play for the floor, I'm playing Jamal Williams. But yeah, sure. I think Thielen is the play for me.
Yeah. I think you can also make like a floor ceiling play here. If you want solid points, maybe go with Thielen with a chance of a boom, because Thielen also has a chance to score 2 TDs and break open your week. And a more risky but more ceiling probable move would be Rondell. I would personally play Thielen. So that's my answer. Tom Brady Stan #GOAT. Good luck with that.
I'll tell you what, I love rooting for Tom Brady these days. As if you guys don't know, I'm a Jets fan, and I used to tell everyone, I'm going to tell everyone about Tom Brady. I hated that guy, but damn it, I respected him. And now I can respect him and like him at the same time. Well, do you remember? That's from Anchorman. When they're
I
that,
don't think I've seen that movie. Gotta
you've
be
never
honest.
seen Anchorman?
Nope.
What?
I remember when it came out and it was very popular, but I just never got into it.
Yeah, that's because you were like 11 when it came
Yep.
out.
Yeah, it was.
I was already in my teens, well into my teens. I might have been
Yeah,
20.
that's what it is. Um. Anyway, Tom Brady Stan says, "Appreciate you guys. You have helped me win 2 straight championships. Let's go, bro. Bro, represent. You're part of the good guys."
Yeah, that's right. Let's get it.
And he is a Bucks fan way before Brady. So not just a Tom Brady Stan, a Bucks fan. So that's
You
better.
deserve it. The ups and the downs. You're in there. You deserve it, kid.
All right. Now we have a great Bordeaux guy, Joe Arias. What's up, Brandon Cooks or Tony full PPR? What are your thoughts on this?
So I'm about Brandon Cooks this week. I'm not usually about Brandon Cooks this week, but he's playing Indianapolis, and nothing about the Indianapolis defense tells me that he's going to, not succeed against them. There's no reason to fade the number one target. That being said, it is the Houston Texans, right? On the other side, you have Kadarius Toney, and he's playing the Rams. And if Galladay's out and Sterling Shepard's back, but Sterling Shepard's not really a guy that you're going to put Jalen Ramsey on. So there's a real possibility that Jalen Ramsey is on Kadarius Toney for the majority of this game. That scares the living daylights out of me. And it's funny that you asked this question because in my rankings, I have 32 over 30 at wide receiver 32, Brandon Cooks, at wide receiver 33, Kadarius Toney.
Nice.
So they are literally back to back in my rankings. So it's a coin flip for me. I would go Brandon Cooks because I feel like he has more of the guaranteed workload. But after
sure.
that game last week, how could you sit Kadarius Toney? It's going to be hard.
I would also lean with Brandon Cooks just because he has been a consistent producer, has a little bit of a better matchup, and also like is the number one wide receiver. And we've seen Davis Mills just target the shit out of him, so he'll get those points. Just force feed him the ball. The other thing I'm worried about here is Kadarius Toney punched a guy last game, and we've seen Joe Judge this offseason punish their players for fighting. So makes you wonder if he's gonna get like limited reps or not. Maybe not, but I don't know. I didn't trust Joe Judge in that manner.
That's also a big time possibility. This is what fantasy football is all about, right? It's the rookie who just had 189 yards and 12 catches. Do you play him again after he punched someone and in a better matchup, and with the wide receiver that he replaced back? And the
Also
question
true.
is, no one could truly know. So in that case, that's why I lean Brandon Cooks, because
100% agree.
Yeah, when you chop it up, Brandon Cooks is gonna get the targets. He's gonna get the work, and he's not in such a bad matchup that you're gonna fade him in any sort of way. So yeah, I think that's why I'm leaning Cooks here.
Agree. So we both agree. It's full PPR too. So those targets for Cooks will rack up. There you go, Joe. Good luck with that. It's Brandon Cooks for us. We have another one from Tom Brady Stan. Let's get it. He's just rolling with the questions. Rams defense or Packers defense? All right. How versed are you with defensive rankings?
I'm gonna say that. All right, the Rams defense and the Packers rating.
Packers get the Bears.
I rank the Packers always dominate the Bears.
Yep.
And the Bears have a rookie quarterback, but at the same time, that domination came with J.R. Alexander. J.R. Alexander is not there right now. And who was the second?
Eric Stokes.
Oh no, the
second Rams.
Rams D. And the Rams D is always a good play.
Yes.
Where do I have the Rams this week? Yeah, I'm going with the Rams. The Rams are my number one defense this week.
But there you go. I mean, Tim's good at this stuff, so if he says the Rams, let's go with the Rams. They play the Giants, so not a lot to worry about there.
Yeah.
There you go. Go with the Rams. Plug in. Set it and forget it. Good luck with that. Now we have one from the man, the Brodo Discord GOAT, Big Will.
Yes, the GOAT himself.
Yep. Good morning. Just traded for Swift, so I have to start Mooney as my wide receiver 3 now for my flex. Half PPR. Do I start McKissick over Jamal Williams and Bateman?
Yes.
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 I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jamal Williams might be tighter, but Bateman 100% start McKissick over him. We do not know what kind of target share he will get. I know Sammy Watkins is out, but Bateman's coming off an injury, rookie wide receiver, and McKissick is a very good pass catching back against a horrible Kansas City defense with a banged up Gibson. So it's a no brainer for me.
I agree. Kansas City also has been equally bad against the running back out of the backfield. They're allowing, I think, 70 yards and over 5 catches to the running
Look
back.
at that.
They've been terrible on defense, and they're not getting their stars back, so there's nothing else to say about that. And I'm worried a little bit about Jamal Williams. Now, a lot of people who know me know that Jamal Williams was my favorite guy this offseason. I was singing his praises. I was telling everyone he was going to end as an RB2. So far, so good when it comes to that, but Frank Ragnow went down last week, and he didn't miss the whole season. That's their all-pro center. Just to give you an idea of how good this guy is, he is the second overall ranked center in the entire NFL, according to PFF, and he's the third overall ranked run blocker in the NFL, according to PFF. And he's the center. He's the guy that's going to be leading the charge for the in-between the tackles runs, which is where Jamal Williams eats. DeAndre Swift, not as much. DeAndre Swift, they're going to get it to the outside. They're going to get him involved in the passing game. I'm not as worried as with Jamal Smith, particularly because the Chargers, when Anthony Lynn was there, he had bad offensive lines every single year, terrible offensive lines. Yet every single year they were great in the running game for the most part, but especially in the passing game to the backfield to the running back. So because of that, I think Jamal Williams does have the possibility of having less value. Now, in this week, if this was a regular week and McKissick wasn't playing the Chiefs, I'd say go with Williams. But Bateman, his first game back, I don't think you can't expect anything from him, especially the way Hollywood's been playing. And Jamal, I'm worried about that injury, so I think it's McKissick for me for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a start 2 situation or a start 1. If it's a start 1, go with McKissick. If it's a start 2, go McKissick and Jamal Williams, in my opinion. Yep. So good luck with that, Will. We have one from Frank Valentino. Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold? Ooh, they're going against each other this week. This is a nice question, actually. A very tough one.
I'm going to start this one off because I'm in a dynasty league, Frank Valentino, and I have this exact quandary. I had Sam Darnold in my lineup up until this morning. And then this morning, when I was taking my morning time in the bathroom, I was looking at my app and I was like, hey, what do I do about this? And for me, Christian McCaffrey being out tips the scales towards Kirk Cousins. I think if Christian McCaffrey was in, that's 5 more completions, that's 75 more yards, and maybe a touchdown for Sam Darnold that he doesn't get. I think what you're seeing with the Panthers is they're not very deep in terms of weapons. Robbie Anderson, I'm a Jets fan. I can tell you he's been overrated. DJ Moore is an absolute beast, but they have a rookie in the backfield now in Trouba, who that offense really, really, really runs around that running back. So that takes a hit. And Sam Darnold just hasn't been playing well outside of the rushing touchdowns. So I think that I'm going to go Kirk Cousins here just because of no CMC.
Interesting. I was about to say Sam Darnold, actually. Just because Kirk Cousins has, he started off hot. He has cooled down as of late. And Sam Darnold has a little bit of a rushing floor. Might not be as high as it is for Jalen Hurts, that he can play a terrible game and still put up a QB1 performance. But he does get you that little extra. So if this were me, I would go Darnold based on that rushing upside he has. And he can play a not so good game and get you a couple points with his legs. That's where I'm at.
It's funny. I also have Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold ranked back to back in my rankings as I look at them.
If Frank Valentino, you go to the Fantasy Football by Brodo app and the start sit tool, the consensus is slightly for Sam Darnold, but Kirk Cousins does have the better matchup. So you can check that out. Like, we have stars now to grade the matchup. If you're not convinced by either of our arguments, go check out the app, see if that convinces you a little bit more, because unfortunately we're split on this. So we can't give you a consensus. We can just give you the information. So good luck with that decision. Hope it works out. Now, we actually have one from Twitter. A reminder to everyone that's watching on Twitter, if you want to ask questions and make sure we 100% see them, go ask them on YouTube. There's a slight chance we don't see them if you post them on Twitter. This time we did see it, though, and it's from the kid Vic. He's asking about DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, or Jamar Chase full PPR. Needs to start 2. Wow. I mean, that's a good team, bro.
It's a good problem to have.
Yep. Good problem to have, indeed. What do you think?
All right. So, let's go over this one more time. We got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase. This is hard. This is a hard one because DJ Moore's in a great matchup and he's a great player and he's been getting crazy volume. So I don't think you can sit DJ Moore in any scenario.
100% agree.
So then, but then you're looking at Keenan Allen and Jamar Chase. For me, I think that Keenan Allen is a wide receiver 1 this week. I ranked him ahead of Mike Williams. I think that this is a Keenan Allen game. I talked about it on the podcast. Baltimore has struggled guarding the slot receiver. And when I say struggled, I mean really, really bad in the bottom third of the league against the slot receiver. And Keenan Allen has come out of the slot over 50% of the time this season. So Keenan Allen, I think, is the guy who's going to be open the most against Baltimore. I like Jamar Chase too, though. I have Jamar Chase. Oh my God, I have Jamar Chase ranked 8th against Detroit.
I mean, holy moly. Detroit.
I have all 3 of these guys ranked as wide receiver 1s this week. I have DJ Moore at 6, Jamar at 8, and Keenan at 10.
Sounds like Keenan Allen's the odd man out right there.
But I can't in good faith say sit Keenan Allen. I can't. Sure. The words can't even come out of my mouth.
For sure. I will check on the app to see what the start sit tool has to say, and it says sit Keenan Allen. Oh my God.
Well, there you go. Say Keenan Allen. Oh my God, who would have thought?
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Although it's worth noting that the Lions sound bad, but they haven't been terrible against the wide receiver. They have been actually decent at containing. Maybe because they're bad and people run against them, but maybe not. So that's something worth noting. It's very hard to sit Jamar Chase. I get that. But man, is this a tough decision? I see why you asked now.
Yeah.
You know what? Just based on Mike Williams being active, I'm leaning sit Keenan Allen. If Mike Williams was out, maybe sit Jamar Chase. As he's active, I know he's not gonna compete with Keenan Allen. They have different roles and etc. Just out of that, I'm saying sit Keenan Allen and pray. That's my advice here.
We got another one from Twitter. Could I
go ahead?
Could I go for it? From Jarrett, says, "Hey, dude, how about Devante Booker or Trouba Hubbard?"
Huh. That's also an interesting conundrum.
It's interesting because I think.
What's the format? Do you have it?
No, he doesn't say. He doesn't say the format. Oh, let me check because it's a continuation of a tweet. So maybe he mentioned it earlier. Who do I start? My flex, Trouba Hubbard or Cortland Sutton? He asked before.
Oh, Sutton.
Yeah, so we the Brodo app says Sutton. We said Sutton.
Yeah.
Then he said, "How about Devante Booker or Trouba Hubbard?" Which I'm guessing is now his RB2 choices.
Yeah.
This is a tough one.
You know what? I'm leaning Booker. I think he has a better workhorse role and a better. I mean, I don't want to say, but I think a better offense for him. Not necessarily a better offense in absolute terms, but just a better offense for his skill set and role that he will get the work you need to put up at least a solid floor. If it were me making this decision, I would lean Booker.
For me, it's Hubbard. It's Trouba. Here's why. Chuba's high on my rankings this week. I think I'm higher than most people. Chuba is RB14 for me this week.
Oh, wow.
Against Minnesota. Minnesota's been bad against the running back, and particularly bad against the pass catching running back. They've allowed 6 receptions per game to the running backs. So when you're talking about a team that targets the running backs as much as they do Trouba Hubbard, and now Trouba Hubbard gets to play with a little pep in his step, right? Like he knows, look, Christian McCaffrey's not nipping at my heels. I am the lead back in this backfield. I have an opportunity to make a statement for myself and really establish myself in this offense. So I think that's something that plays a role. Devontae Booker has had his games, but he's also had big time duds. It's not like I don't like Devontae Booker. I like him as a low end RB2, mid to low end RB2, and I like Trouba Hubbard as a high to mid RB2. So I think I'm going to go with Chubb. I'm going to roll with Chubb on that one. Trouba.
Okay. I think if you want more of a solid floor, it always comes down to like when I have trouble deciding. I think, what do I need? Do I need floor or do I need upside? If you got off to a bad start after Thursday night football, like maybe one of your players put up a dud or your opponent put up a ton of points and you need to catch up, it's make or break. You have to take a shot. I would go with Trouba because I think he has more potential to catch a couple of touchdowns, get a good usage. If all you need is floor and just keep steady production, I would go Booker. That's my take on this.
That sounds fair.
There you go. Good luck with that, Twitter guy. We have one. I'm sorry, I cannot see. If you're on Twitter, I cannot see your comments. So if you want to have them display on the screen and for us to be able to see them, go on YouTube and ask them. The link is right on the tweet. We have one from David Arce. Good morning. Half PPR, Sutton or Emmanuel Sanders? Ooh, also tough.
To me, this one's an easy one.
All right, okay.
I'm going Emmanuel Sanders, 1,000%. Now, listen, Courtland Sutton is a great play. Again, I have Courtland Sutton ranked highly. To me, Emmanuel Sanders, and I maybe not. Maybe it's not as clear because I have Courtland Sutton ranked above Emmanuel Sanders in my rankings, but I don't know. I might have to change that because Emmanuel Sanders at Tennessee is one of the better matchups I could think of.
Yep.
And the way that he's been involved in this, this offense has not changed that much. They run more than last year, but it's not changed that much. And you think about the role that John Brown had last year, right? He was week in, week out until he got hurt, a fantasy viable player. And then Gabriel Davis went into that role and he became a fantasy viable player. The difference between Gabriel Davis, John Brown, and Emmanuel Sanders is better than all of those guys. And he's getting all the targets that those guys saw. And now he's getting end zone targets. He's the deep guy. He's the possession guy. He's everything. He's almost the number one receiver in terms. He played more snaps than Stephon Diggs last week. So I think Emmanuel Sanders gets the play here. I might have to move Emmanuel Sanders up my rankings right now. I'm doing it. I'm moving him up.
Yeah, I mean, you convinced me. I'm gonna move him up to update the app as soon as I can. But yeah, you convinced me before anyone. So yeah, let's go. I'll agree with you on Sanders. There you go, David.
Oh boy, David. You just made us change our rankings.
Go with Emmanuel Sanders. And great question, bro.
Well, Courtland Sutton's a great play as well.
Yeah, I mean he's not bad by any means, but Sanders has that upside. We got one from Benjamin. What's up, boys? Tony or Renfro half PPR, and Jacoby or Rondell dart throw with Hardman. Okay, let me just dissect this question. Tony or Renfro half PPR and Jacoby or Rondell Moore or a dart throw with Hardman. Definitely not Hardman. Let me start with that.
Definitely not Hardman should be the Brodo motto. I picked him up just in case Tyreek Hill was out, though. If Tyreek Hill was out, then I would play Hardman.
That's not bad.
He had 11 targets.
Yeah, handcuff at this point.
He had 11 targets last week.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, not bad.
I mean, Washington's defense is not good either, so I'm actually considering them.
See, because
go ahead.
If you're going to play Jacoby or Rondell Moore, Jacoby Myers sucks. Like, I don't know what. Look, I don't know what everyone sees in this guy. He has not scored a touchdown. Even his big games for fantasy for real life are terrible games for fantasy. So what are you getting out of this guy? Especially in a half-point PPR, you're not getting anything. So for Jacoby, he's not in the conversation for me. Because then I'm picking between Rondell Moore and Mecole Hardman. And in that case, I would maybe consider McCole Hardman. I'm gonna go with Rondell Moore, but in that I would maybe consider McCole Hardman in this one. But I'm gonna go Rondell Moore of the three.
I like Rondell. This is especially this week, the week before Ertz comes into town, because that's gonna shake things up a little bit. Right now, no Ertz yet, so Rondell Moore's a good play. And I mean, the thing about Jacoby is that I just said that very weird. He gets the targets. He's the number one wide receiver for a rookie QB. So he's going to grow into that role. And the touchdown thing does not scare me, because it's not like he's allergic to touchdowns. He'll eventually get one. They're the most random and lucky thing in fantasy. So the fact that he's not putting up touchdowns right now just increases his chances of scoring one, just to regress to the mean. Now, for the first question, Tony or Renfro, what do you think?
By the way, James Robinson just scored a touchdown in the game.
Yeah, so that.
For those watching, James Robinson became, just like last year, went from almost afterthought to being one of the better running backs in fantasy again. Tony or Renfro? I'm going to go Tony. Right now, with the ridiculousness that surrounds Las Vegas, you don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. I don't want anything to do with any Raiders this week. I have to start Josh Jacobs in a dynasty, and I hate it. I don't want to start him. I don't want any Raiders. I don't know what the new coaching regime is going to pick. Like, all these players are all the hand-picked children of John Gruden. They're John Gruden has made.
I mean, he's gone though.
Yeah, he's gone, exactly. And he's made so many mistakes in terms of personnel, drafting Henry Ruggs in a draft where, like, who would you rather have, Ruggs or Michael Pittman right now on your team?
But definitely Pittman for sure.
And it's just to have to think about it. Pittman went a round and a half, a round later, and you're talking about a first round chock full of superstar wide receivers.
Yep.
And then you had the year before, you had a round full of superstar DNs, and he goes ahead and picks Cleveland Farrell. And it's just like you had another round. Rashawn Slater was there. Who else? Elijah Vera Tucker was there, and he goes and picks Alex Leatherwood. So he's been making these decisions off the beaten path, and now he's gone. And it's also the GM Mike Mayock. At the same time, like, bro, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what this new coaching staff going to give the whole thing to Kenyon Drake? Is this new coaching staff going to make Henry Ruggs stay on the field even though he's not productive?
That's true. We don't know what's going to happen.
Is Hunter Renfrow going to still be getting as many targets? Like, I just don't know.
Yeesh. Yeah.
Tony for me.
I agree. Let's go with Tony. And out of the other guys, go with Rondell. Like, it's tight between him and Myers, but I think Rondell can get you more. He has more upside. So the answers are Tony and Rondell. Good luck, Benjamin. Appreciate you, Frank.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for joining. Now we have a special request for the next question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We need to get Tim to answer in his beautiful voice.
Oh, okay. I thank you for telling me I have a beautiful voice.
This is for you, bro. 16 team, half PPR, flex sports start, non-tight end premium, Jamal Williams and Devante Williams.
Thank you for adding. Look, this is Matt Ward. Matt Ward. Let me tell you guys. If you guys don't know Matt Ward, get familiar with Matt Ward.
Yep.
Because this guy is the real deal, and he's the real deal because he even made it clear that this is not a tight end premium, even though this question has absolutely nothing to do with tight ends. So no stone left unturned with Matt Ward, which you will also see in his writing. No stone left unturned at all. Devante Williams or Jamal Williams? I'm going Devante, man. I'm one of the guys who this week I think it's the Devante Williams breakout game. Melvin Gordon has been limited in practice. Devante Williams has outproduced him significantly in the past 2 weeks, particularly in the past 3 weeks. Really, the entire season, if you take away that one big run from Melvin Gordon in week 1 or 2. I think this is the week where they give him the touches that matter. And I think this is where you start seeing the changing of the guard. I'm not just guessing. It's kind of been trending that way. And historically, this is when it happens. Week 6, week 7, week 8. This is historically when the rookie running back gets really, really, really comfortable with the offense and starts to separate themselves. Javante's already started separating himself. For me personally, I'm personally starting Javonte Williams over Jamal Williams in the Brodo Writers Bowl. So that's personally, I'm doing that. So
practice what you preach, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, Jamal was limited all week with a hip injury and an illness. And then you lost Frank Ragnow, their center. It's just not ideal. Go with Devante for sure. With injured Melvin Gordon, just makes it even better. So 100% Javonte Williams. Good luck with that, Matt. And man, I've been made that Jacoby. All right, we got one from Charles. He was in here last week or 2 weeks ago. Great guy. Would it be stupid to start Tannehill against the Bills? I have the Bills defense in, and Darnold is my other option at QB. This is also a difficult question, I would say.
Yeah. Like I tell my students, there's no stupid questions, especially in fantasy.
No, definitely not. This is a difficult one for sure.
Another one. I have Ryan Tannehill as my QB 15, and I have Sam Darnold as my QB 17. So this is a close matchup. I lean slightly Ryan Tannehill because Julio Jones is back. Now, the Bills' defense has been phenomenal. They've given up almost nothing to the wide receiver. And even in, like, sometimes points against is a little bit misleading.
Yep.
So sure. I like to supplement that with DVOA because DVOA is they grade based on adjustments. And the Bills are the number one defense in DVOA as well. So the Bills have been the best defense in football.
Yep.
I still lean Ryan Tannehill slightly because he has A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. And I think the combination of those two, because the Buffalo, now we're going to get to see the Titans at full strength. We really haven't seen the Titans at full strength yet. I'm going to be interested to see how powerful this offense is because I think they have the opportunity to score in this game.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, we saw the Titans struggle against the Jets. I mean, they were not at full strength. So, but that does change people's opinions. So when you see them going against the number one defense in the NFL, it's this is a very tough question. Not gonna lie. Like if I had this decision to make, I would not be happy about it. Does the fact that he has the Bills defense change anything for you or no?
Oh man, I missed that. Yeah, it does. It does.
I think just because you have the Bills defense and starting Tannehill would be just counterproductive. I would go Darnold probably.
There's another line of thinking in that too, and that's instead of it being counterproductive, you are also hedging. So there's that. But then again, like I don't it's a tough one, man. Oh, Charles coming in with the I'm gonna say Tanny, man. That's where I'm gonna go with here, just because he's the better quarterback.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I would agree. I would start Tannehill in your place. Now we got another one from David. Good luck with that, Charles. It's not easy. We have this one. We have a distaste for the Raiders, so I have to ask Carr or Tannehill. Could also pick up Bridgewater.
Let me consult my rankings here. I think I'm going to stick with Tannehill in this case. Derek Carr is my QB 20. I don't like Derek Carr against Denver anyway.
Yeah, Denver is tough for QBs usually,
especially at Denver in division. They've been playing Derek Carr for years now. I think I'm going to stay away from Derek Carr. Teddy Bridgewater I have even lower though, because Teddy Bridgewater he's not going to get you any rushing yards. He's not going to get you a plethora of passing yards. If Teddy Bridgewater doesn't throw 3 touchdowns, then you're disappointed. So I think I'm not going to bank on Teddy Bridgewater throwing 3 touchdowns, although it could happen. So I'm going to stick with Tannehill.
Yeah, I agree. I would also go with Tannehill here. Carr started off hot and has been slightly disappointing as of late. kind of backwards Tannehill. So I like the way Tannehill's trending, especially now that he has a fully healthy offense. So that's the decision. Go with Tannehill here. David, good luck with that. Now, let's take a little break from questions, and I want to ask you something.
All right, I'm here.
We've had a couple questions regarding Booker and Trouba. How comfortable do you feel starting these guys? Like, which is the backup starting for the injured starter that you're more comfortable starting in your fantasy lineup?
So we have a bunch of those today, right? We got Darrell Williams, we got Khalil Herbert, and I'm kind of curious that because the Khalil Herbert questions have been flowing in on Twitter, and Khalil Herbert, Darrell Williams, Devante Booker. Who's the fourth one you said?
Trouba
Hubbard, and we're probably missing a few. Like we're definitely missing a few. Here's how I look at it. I try to weigh three things when I'm looking at backup players in a certain spot. Because a lot of people say opportunity is king. But here at Brodo, we say efficiency is king. But, opportunity is queen. Like everyone wants to make this everyone wants to make this comparison, and everyone wants to make this either or. It's got to be a combination of both. It's got to be a combination of opportunity plus efficiency, because if you get the opportunity and you suck, you pull a Mixon. TM. If you're great but you don't get any opportunity, i.e. Kadarius Toney in weeks 1 through 4, then what's going to happen? You're not going to do anything. So it needs to be a combination of both. So the first thing I'm looking at in the three factors is what's the running volume like, and the passing volume like, right? So in the case of Trouba, I know this is an offense that revolves around the running back. I know that he's going to catch the passes, and I know that he's against the defense that allows passes to be caught. So check. That's what I need to see. On the other hand, you look at Khalil Herbert. The Bears have had really, really bad running games, even when David Montgomery is healthy. That running game seems to be, it can get you, you can get 20 points one week, but David Montgomery has been known to get you 3.8 points. You know what I mean? So that's more worrisome. Factor number 2 is the talent of the actual player. Efficiency, right? I've seen Trouba play. I know that Trouba was highly efficient in both weeks that he played. This gives me confidence going forward that he can be efficient in that opportunity. So that's why I have Trouba as my RB14, because opportunity plus efficiency. Then you have to look at the third factor, historical efficiency. And Devante Booker is someone who's had historical efficiency. So I am inclined to start Devante Booker. Darrell Williams is someone who's had efficiency. I'm inclined to start Darrell Williams. Khalil Herbert, I've never seen him play, really. I don't know about the Bears' attack. And on top of that, he's not in the greatest of matchups. It's not like the Bears are playing a bad run defense in the Packers. They're not the worst, but they're not the best. So it's not like some smash play like he's playing like Houston or the Jets. So that's how I decide. Those are the factors that go into me considering these backup guys. How do you feel about it, Cass?
I agree. I think sometimes people get overly excited about the promised volume, so to speak, that these backups will get. Like we saw it with Alex Collins a couple of weeks ago. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a Thursday, so it seems like forever.
People were very excited, like, yeah, plug in Alex Collins. And most of the time, they'll get you this stat line: 14, 15 rushes for 50 yards, 2 receptions for 16 yards, no touchdowns, and now you have an 8-9 half PPR points in your lineup that don't lose you the week, but also don't win you the week, just kind of are there. So you have to be wary. People get very excited. Oh, yeah, I have CMC's handcuff. I have Saquon's handcuff. But most of the time, they're not going to be useful for fantasy. They are very TD dependent. All RBs, or almost all RBs, are TD dependent to be good. Most of these backups are TD dependent to be at least decent. So you have to be wary. It's not just, oh, they're going to get all of this volume. So people get too excited about that. Don't, just level your head, look at your options. And if you have an established veteran, even though he might not be as flashy, he might be in a timeshare. Just take a minute to look. Or if you have a veteran wide receiver and you're considering him or the backup for your flex, don't get excited about the prospect of this new guy that's going to come take the league by storm. Just weigh your options, because yes, they'll get the volume, but it's not always going to be the greatest production with that volume. That's how I see it.
I agree with you, and you made me remember. Like, I don't know how I could forget matchup. Matchup was also a incredible factor in this. Like, the Rams, the Giants are playing the Rams. The Rams allow rushing yards. That's what they do. They're kind of a bend but don't break defense. They allow teams to rush on them but not pass on them. So I expect that to continue. So I expect them to get some yards. So the Rams are a good matchup for him. So that's why I'm way more comfortable starting him than others.
Yep, also true. Matchup is huge, especially for these rookie or just journeyman types. Matchup is everything, because they're probably going to be playing just a few weeks, so you have to check who they get in that span, and that's huge when making the decision, especially for these guys that we know are not matchup proof. Some guys you're going to start regardless of the matchup. These guys are very matchup dependent, so you have to really look at who they get and make your decision based on that. Charles says, thank you. I appreciate what you guys do. Our pleasure, man. Thank you for popping in, asking your questions. It's great for us. Good luck in your matchups.
Love it, man. Love it.
Okay, we have 15 minutes left for questions. While we wait for some questions to come in, I want to talk to you about my sleepers and busts this week.
All right, let's see what you got.
Now, we have our rotation in the Broto Fantasy staff, and I drew tight ends this week, which is arguably the toughest position to select sleeper and bust for, because every tight end is a sleeper and a bust at the same time. I mean, out of three guys, they're all sleeper and bust candidates, because there could be a sleeper or bust in the same week. They have equal chances, in my opinion. So this is very tough for me. I'm not a fan of drawing tight end, but I chose Ricky Seals-Jones and Robert Tonyan. I know some people say Robert Tonyan does not qualify as a bust candidate because he already busts a lot, and it is known that he is a bust. But he is still started in about 30% of Yahoo leagues, and still rostered in over 60% of Yahoo leagues last time I checked. So people are not catching on as much as people think. So sit Robert Tonyan if you have him. He has not been good. He got like 2 targets last week, same as Mercedes Lewis. He has played under 60% of the snaps recently too. So just no reason to keep him in your lineup. He does not have the promise of opportunity in the near future. And my sleeper actually was Ricky Seals-Jones, who's filling in for the injured Logan Thomas. He played 99% of the snaps last week, which is insane. Got over a 20% target share. And Taylor Heineke has targeted the tight end more often than not since he took over. So I'm looking for a very decent game from Ricky Seals-Jones. I'm projecting between 8 and 16 points, depending on touchdowns, maybe 14 if he's not as used as I hope. But I think he's a very good option with a very decent floor, which is not something you can say about streaming tight ends often. He was rostered in like 26% of Yahoo leagues when I wrote the article. So if you are at a tough spot for tight ends, I would go pick up Ricky Seals-Jones from the waiver wire, because it's rare that these guys have a decent floor when you grab them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting Ricky Seals-Jones in a flex spot this week. I mean, it's not because I have Dawson Knox at tight end, and then this is one of my this is a bad league. This is my worst team. This is my league where I'm in it with a bunch of couples, so my wife is in it as well. And this is the league, and we were drunk, and it was Labor Day when we did the draft. So I definitely, for this draft, took some chances that I wouldn't usually take, and it absolutely backfired. My big decision is between Damian Harris and Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah. Go with Ricky
You think Ricky over Damian?
for sure.
Yeah, I think, and Aguilar too. Like, I'm not starting a Patriot. No thanks.
Fair.
Especially a Patriot that fumbled at the goal line last week. Like, no,
Ooh.
no,
Yeah.
no. You can't even.
I mean,
pay
they
me
all
to
do
start him.
apparently. So,
Which is crazy because their coach hates it so much. You'd think that like it's working, whatever he's doing to make them not fumble. But maybe you're the problem, Bill. Huh? Ever think of that, Bill?
I mean, Tom Brady is just hell bent on proving that. So, yeah, I think he's doing all right at that too. I actually have a league where I'm starting non-tight end premium. I'm starting 3 tight ends, I think.
Oh boy.
No, it's double tight end. I'm going Darren Waller and Dawson Knox. Then I have a tight end premium league where I'm starting 4 tight ends, I think. I just went crazy in that draft. I have TJ Hawkinson, Mike Gesicki, Dawson Knox, and I think Ricky Seals-Jones just to fill in.
I mean, those aren't bad options.
No, I mean, I would start them. Probably not all of them in a regular league, but the fact that it's super tight end premium because it's 1 extra point per reception compared to the rest of the players, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm just going 4 tight ends and being happy about it.
Is that the Broto Writers League you're talking about?
No. This, Bro Writers League, I think, is just regular tight end premium. This is for the Estadio Fantasy Bowl. It's the biggest Mexican bowl league style.
Like the Scott Fish,
pretty much.
But Mexican.
Pretty much.
I love it.
And great guys that organized it. But it's super tight end premium. And it's half PPR for all the players and 1.5 per reception for tight ends. So I just loaded up on tight ends in that league, and I'm starting 4 this week.
Is Dawson Knox like overall player like 7?
I mean, probably. I would have to check. I'm gonna check right now, but he's probably way up there.
Like him, like Travis Kelsey got to be number 1 for sure. Unless there's some sort of
Travis Kelsey had like a dud game a couple weeks ago.
He did have that 1 dud game,
which is rare. He has had 2 dud games in the past 6 years. But that is just absolutely insane.
How did they make a guy like that?
How old is he now? He's getting up there.
30, just turned 30, I believe.
Hey, shout out him. He's been great.
Maybe not. Maybe
you were right. So the first player that's not a QB in fantasy points is Travis Kelsey.
32.
32.
Yeah,
he's on his way out, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, we're done. Me and Travis Kelsey done. Yo, I hurt my hamstring playing. That the reason why I'm here is because usually, as you guys know, if you guys on Twitter, the Twins and I play football in the mornings on Sunday. The reason why I'm here is because I am injured. I have a pulled hamstring. So, Cass, how's your injury doing, bro?
Making progress. I sprained my MCL on Monday. For anyone that's interested, it's painful. I don't love it, but we're making progress.
Were you playing football or football?
It was football.
I don't know which.
We have an arena football team at my school.
Nice.
Yeah, we're on end pads right now, but it just running around. Had to adjust for the catch. My knee did something funny, so wasn't great. So we're the injured boys this week.
Yeah, for sure. We're on the IR. We're the Christian McCaffreys.
We have a very interesting question. I'll let you know why it's interesting in a second. But from Matt Ward again, it's full PPR, 12 team, 1 QB, IDP Dynasty. Again, with all the details, he does not spare any detail. Dalton Schultz in my flex over AJ Green, Jamal Williams, Singletary. First of all, this is interesting because it's a league where we're in with him. So he's trying to play us here.
I know this league. This league.
How many 1 QB IDP Dynasty leagues is Matt in? But I don't remember if it's tight end premium or not. I probably should because I'm the commissioner. But I would probably still go Dalton Schultz. Maybe consider Jamal Williams, but not really. So, look, I'm giving you objective advice against my better judgment. But I would say Schultz. What do you think?
Matt has figured out the secret that I do every week. I just ask the Twins I asked the Twins their start shit questions for our leagues together, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe." But anyway, all right, full PPR. I think I'm gonna go with Dalton Schultz. Here's the reason why. Jamal Williams, I already explained why I'm not in on Jamal Williams.
Yep.
I think that he's, if you need a floor play, I guess. I know floor plays are valuable in that league because there's so many players starting where if you get 10 points from everyone, you're going to score 220 points. But Dalton Schultz has the ability to do more. Right now, he's been getting the target, so I wouldn't. He's a start every week. The only guy I'm thinking about, because also Devin Singletary played like 26% of snaps last week. I'm not interested in that at all. The only person I'd consider is AJ Green, for the same reasons why I'm so high on Rondell Moore in a few leagues. Because the second wide receiver on the Cardinals is a valuable position. The only problem is it's been a new guy every week. Some weeks it's Moore. Some weeks it's AJ Brown. Some weeks it's Christian Kirk.
AJ Green.
What'd I say? AJ Brown?
Brown.
Some weeks it's AJ.
Different color.
They wish it was AJ Brown.
Yeah, they do.
Different color. Brown and green. Beef and Brock, though, the best Tims ever. Timberland boots. For those of you who shout out to my Queens people. But yeah, I think that if you want to take the glory play for AJ Green, I won't be mad at you. But I lean Dalton Schultz is more of the sure thing. Plus, he's got a high ceiling. So
I agree. I mean, he's been insane. He leads the Cowboys in targets in the past 2 games, I think, or just like the entire season. He has been Prescott's favorite target, which is rare to see for a tight end. We usually see it for Travis Kelsey. Sometimes, not every game. And that's pretty much it. And so the fact that Dalton Schultz is emerging like this is very surprising. I was a big fan of picking him up late in drafts this offseason, so I'm glad to see him just ripping it up. And I would agree. I would go Dalton Schultz here over all those guys.
All right.
Good luck, Matt. Good luck with that. I mean, I don't know who you're playing. I know you're not playing me because you recently beat me. So good luck. We have 5 minutes, actually 3 minutes left for questions. If anyone else has a question they want to drop in, this is your last chance. A reminder that I do not see the Twitter questions. If you're watching on a Twitter live stream, you have to go on the YouTube live stream to ask those questions for 100% chance that we see them. All right. Fact. Those Tims are fire. I appreciate it, boys. I never feel super confident flexing an extra tight end, but I think the flip percentage is very helpful moving forward. I mean, we just talked about how we're starting 2, 3, and 4 tight ends in different leagues. So get comfortable with it. I mean, tight ends are making a comeback. Good luck with that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. No. You're right. I'm with it. Yeah. If you want, just a quick plug before we go. If you want to get start-sit decisions quick without our long-winded answers, although sometimes I like the long-winded answers, it helps me think through it. The fantasy football app by Brodo has a start-sit tool that has a brand new feature with matchup ratings and player ratings. So check that out. It is literally everything you need to make a quick start-sit decision without having to put the work in, because we've already put in that work.
For sure. And we unveiled a new feature last night, which gives you the player rating of how they've done so far and the matchup rating, how good the matchup is against that position, or rather how good that position has done against that matchup, that defense. So we're just trying to give you an extra for you to make your decisions. You don't necessarily have to agree with us or what we say. We try to be as objective and as consolidated as possible, but you can also make your own decision with that information.
That's what the percentages are for.
Yep, exactly. Now we have one last question for today from Brian. Collins over Renfro half PPR. I mean, we talked about how Renfro is a very mysterious play now that the head coach is gone, the father of all those offensive weapons. Collins gets the Pittsburgh defense, though. Are you not scared about that? I'm
very scared. I don't want to start either of these guys. But if you have to make the choice, like Renfro doesn't have much upside in the half PPR. He's not going to score a touchdown.
You sure about that? He has a nasty China route that just puts top tier corners into a spin cycle and then just scores on them.
That's true. But the reason why you remembered that is because him scoring a touchdown is so rare that it stood out so much.
He's done like 3 times. He's my
Yeah.
guy.
All right, fine. Maybe he'll score. Maybe he'll score. How about that? Okay. But Alex Collins is going to, I mean, Geno Smith is at quarterback. So gotta
Is that
imagine
better or
Alex
worse?
Collins is going to get so much work that you got to hope he falls into the end zone. If not, then you're kind of fucked both these guys. I would rather, again, go to the wire and pick up an upside guy if you could. But I lean Collins just because more guaranteed work.
I tend to agree. I think the wire is gonna be your best choice. If it's too depleted, I have to go with Renfro, man. I'm just not a fan of starting Collins, especially against the Steelers. We saw what he did last week on a better matchup. It's not the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Yeah.
And without a touchdown, he's barely startable. He's not even decent. So me personally, I would go Renfro, especially in half PPR because Collins did not get a lot of targets. I think he got like 3, which is not great for a half PPR. Standard league, maybe I would go Collins. I mean, I'll probably most definitely go Collins. Half PPR, I'm leaning Renfro. But most of all, go pick up someone from your waiver wire that has a lot more upside than these two guys. That's my assessment of the situation.
I can't, I'm not so gung ho about my opinion that I can't say, yeah, you're right. I'll
Yeah, it's a tough question, Ryan.
I don't really have a strong opinion on this one.
Yeah, I would lean Renfro. Gotta be honest here. So there you go, Ryan. Good luck with that. And that's all the time we have for today.
Can I put one thing out there before we go?
Go ahead.
First thing I said on the podcast was the Jaguars are coming out with their first win in 18 games this week against the Dolphins. Right now, I'm certain that I'm jinxing myself right now, but just if you're not watching right now, the Jaguars are up 4 and in their own red zone. So after turning over the Dolphins, after they got turned over themselves, so this battle of Florida that's going on in England could be going my way. I'm excited about it.
I don't know how ahead or behind you are, but this is not looking great for the Jaguars.
Oh no, I'm pretty. I guess I'm pretty behind. Then I'm still in a commercial break.
Oh no, the Dolphins are driving down the field.
The Dolphins? How'd the Dolphins get the ball?
I don't know, man. But Gesicki he has 7 receptions for 110 yards. So
I liked
he was a great start this week.
Yeah, so that was a good move. I liked Gesicki this week.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, Tua's in. They're not going to use him." Like, because why? Who else do they have to use?
They don't have Parker. They don't have Preston Williams. They don't have Fuller. They don't have anyone.
No, they don't got no one.
But anyway, that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Crunch Time Live. Thank you, Tim. You've been a great co-host. Where can I find you?
At BrodoFF Tim on Twitter and Instagram. Not on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram. At Brodo Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram. I don't really want you to follow me. I want you to follow Brodo Fantasy.
Yeah, go follow Brodo Fantasy on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook if you are into that. And go download the Fantasy Football by Brodo app where you can also make the start decisions simple. And thank you for tuning in. This has been a great time.